begin tonight's our organization. First of all, we have our vote going on. We're voting on the slate. You should have a ballot in your seat and fill it out if you've not already filled one out. You can leave it here tonight, or you can vote online all through Friday at 4. It is really important. Number one, it's exciting. It's great to have the opportunity to vote. I have a quote. There you go. It's wonderful to have an opportunity to vote, and we encourage you to do so. Number one, we need quorum. Number two, we need the vote to pass. And number three, we need the new slate to come in and go to their retreat this weekend, excited and energized and ready to serve you next year. So please be sure to do that. Secondly, we have Mayor Bell here tonight to give his State of the City address. I'm really excited about that. This is the first time that has happened, and as I was saying earlier, he gives it at the Kiwanis, he gives it at Rotary, and after 95 years, we're excited that he's giving it at the Junior League. We feel very strongly that this is where you should be tonight. We have 2,500 members, and we put $1 million into this community every year and 55,000 volunteer hours. So this is a force to be reckoned with, and we are excited to have you here to give your State of the City address. And thirdly, tonight, we are really excited. We will reveal our centennial gift, the surprise of the century, the gift that we will provide to the city of Birmingham 5 years from now, and the campaign that will get us there and make it happen. So we are thrilled you're all here tonight. Sit back, relax, learn about your city and the difference that you're about to make in it.
Very quickly, it may be hard to believe, but it's time to start thinking about what you might want to do next year in the league. And to that end, the Willingness to Serve survey will be coming out probably in about the next week. You'll get an email with a link to the survey where you can indicate any interest you might have in serving as a leader in the league. So please, when that comes out, take a look, nominate yourself for anything you're interested in. And that tells us what you're willing to do so that when the board comes and sits down for leadership selection, we'll know what you want to do and can place you accordingly. So thank you.
All right, I'm not going to trick again, I promise. Well, I don't know that I can promise that. I have to put my reading glasses on because his bio is quite impressive. I am going to give you some of the highlights because I want you to actually hear from him tonight instead of from me. It is my pleasure tonight to introduce Mayor William Bell. He is the 33rd mayor of the city of Birmingham of Alabama. He is one of Birmingham's most dynamic, effective, and respected public servants with a political career that spans over 30 years. In 1979, Mayor Bell was elected to the Birmingham City Council and served there for over 25 years. My glasses need to be stronger. In 1985, his peers elected him to serve as the first African-American City Council president, and he was again chosen president in 87 and 97. In 2009, he was elected to serve on the Jefferson County Commission representing District 1, where he fought to save jobs and provide adequate health care for the residents of Jefferson County. In 2010, he was elected mayor of Birmingham and was re-elected in 2011 and 2013. A product of Birmingham's Titusville community, Mayor Bell is a staunch advocate for community development and revitalization. He is a graduate of John Carroll High School and the University of Alabama at Birmingham, where he received his master's degree in psychology and guidance and counseling. He furthered his education by receiving a doctorate in jurisprudence from Miles College. Without any further ado, Mayor Bell.
Thank you, Madam President. First of all, let me apologize for running a little bit late. This has been a very long day, but a very important day. I am truly grateful for the opportunity to come here tonight. I know you're in the midst of selecting your slate of officers, and I think it's safe to say in this particular place, I'm with her. As mayor, sometimes it feels like I'm walking in a dream, because little did I know that growing up in a segregated society, that one day that I would be the leader of this great city, a city that I have loved from the very moment that I knew what a city was all about, a city that has given me the opportunity to do and see things and go places and be a part of a positive change in our community. In 2010, when I became mayor of the city of Birmingham, and I like to remind people so they don't think that we just all of a sudden just popped our finger and all of a sudden things started happening here in the city of Birmingham. But in 2010, the city was faced with a $78 million deficit that was looming, and it presented many challenges to the city because under the law, the mayor and the city council and all of our department heads are under the obligation of not ending the fiscal year in a deficit. I was sworn in January. Our fiscal year ended in June. That meant less than 6 months we had to turn the city's finances around and get back in the black. We had to do a lot of dramatic things. Some things angered the public because we had to put some projects on hold. It angered some of our employees because we had to cut back on some things that they were promised. But the law required that we must make the tough decisions, and we did that. But we also recognize that a city just can't make do. We just can't barely break even. We just can't be stagnant. That we have to look for growth. We have to look for opportunity. We committed at that time to try to continue work on the Railroad Park, a park that really was transformative in terms of the perception that people had of our great city. We didn't just stop there. We entered into conversations with a gentleman by the name of Don Logan to bring the Birmingham Barons back to Birmingham. And I had to stop Don at the very beginning of our conversation because I said that before I start talking to you about bringing the Barons back, there's one person I need to go and speak with. And that person was Tony Patelis, who was the mayor of Hoover. And many of you know that the Barons were located in Hoover at the time. Because I wanted to end this squabble between Birmingham versus the other cities. That we all lived in this valley that we call Jones Valley, and what's good for Birmingham is good for Hoover. What's good for Hoover is good for Birmingham. What's good for Birmingham is good for Trussville. What's good for Trussville is good for Birmingham. What's good for Birmingham is good for Fairfield, and what's good for Fairfield is good for Birmingham. And I wanted to demonstrate a willingness to cooperate. Well, we had a meeting over at the Winfrey Hotel. We had a dinner meeting there. And when I told Mayor Patelis what I was planning on doing, he said, "You're trying to steal the Barons from us." I said, "Wait a minute, Mayor, y'all stole it from us 20 years ago. I'm just stealing back what you stole from us." And he did the same thing. He started laughing. But once we went through the process of discussing and looking towards the future for both what Hoover wanted to do with their field and what we wanted to do in our field, we came to a conclusion that it was in the best interest of the Barons, the city of Birmingham, and Hoover for the Barons to relocate. We received much criticism at the time. I'll remind you, we had a $78 million budget deficit, and here we were talking about spending $75 million to build a baseball stadium. Received a lot of criticism. Some people said the Barons would never move back to Birmingham. Some people said that the city doesn't have any money, they can't afford to build it. Some people said they don't have the land, where are they going to put it? But we were able to work very diligently with the owner, work very diligently with the property owners in the area as well as UAB, and we were able to locate the property. And we invested that $65 million. Well, I stand here before you today and say that that $65 million that we invested in bringing the Barons back to Birmingham, which each year have set an attendance record at their stadium. Each year they, well, they didn't win the championship this year, but that's neither here nor there. But each year they've been successful. But more importantly, the $65 million that we invested in that stadium has yielded over $300 million worth of investment. If you drive down there right now, you will see the apartments, the businesses, a lot of activity. People are moving back into the area. Tomorrow morning at 6:45 a.m., we will be cutting the ribbon on a new Publix grocery store in downtown Birmingham. The 300 million does not include the investment that's being made in the new Physics that's opening up as a residential complex with restaurants and shopping facilities inside that facility. It doesn't include other developments that has taken place in downtown Birmingham. So that 65 million has paid off very greatly. When you drive over in the Avondale area that people once would have avoided like the plague, but now you have restaurants and businesses that are moving back into the area, and it has been totally transformed. When you look at what's happening in Woodlawn, with new residential communities that are being developed in those areas, and other investments that we made throughout the city, Birmingham has changed. And it didn't change just because of William Bell. It changed because of atmosphere of cooperation and collaboration with our business community, with our city government, with our county government, with our state government. That is the way we have been able to transform Birmingham from a city that a few years ago they said was on the verge of becoming the second largest city in the state of Alabama, to now that we have about 10,000 new citizens have moved within the borders of the city of Birmingham. And we expect that number to grow. We continue to do things out of the box. For example, we announced a few weeks ago that we're planning on moving our municipal court, our police department, as well as our fire department over into the Inslee community to redevelop the tallest building in the Inslee area that used to be the headquarters for U.S. Steel here in Alabama. What that will do, it will cause a revitalization in that area. And the same growth and prosperity that you see taking place on the south side of Birmingham, Avondale, Woodlawn, will also take place in that community who are in sorely needed of jobs and businesses to move into that area. We will continue to work to redo our roads and our streets. You know, no one wants to ride on a bumpy street. We're about to invest $9 million in paving new roads. But more importantly, we're in a collaboration with the Department of Transportation for the state of Alabama to rebuild our infrastructure, to bring new lighting throughout the city of Birmingham. I see one of your sayings is illuminating Birmingham? We are illuminating Birmingham because in some of the communities we've already began to change out the old yellow phosphorus lighting to new LED lighting. And that will take place all throughout the city to brighten up our communities, to give new light on our communities. We're doing a lot of things to improve the quality of life throughout our city, but we've got to invest in our people. To that end, we just received a $6 million federal grant that will train young people on the 1,500 technology jobs that exist right now in the city of Birmingham. If I told you that we were recruiting a company that was about to bring 1,500 jobs here, everyone would say, hey, that's wonderful. Well, right now we have 1,500 jobs a year on average that go unfilled in the technology arena. And it doesn't require you to have a BS degree or a master's degree or a PhD to get those jobs. You just have to have the technical training given to you. That's what that $6 million is all about. We're in negotiations and working with the University of Alabama in Birmingham and all of the corporate community to develop what we call Innovate Birmingham. Innovate Birmingham will have the technological infrastructure of a 600 gigabyte system that we can do research, that we can attract businesses to come in and plug into that system and build their corporate technology base right here in the city of Birmingham. It will give us an advantage on attracting businesses into this area. It's all about building a strong city, a city that can attract young talent to this city, a city that can give them the environment that they can prosper and grow. I'm excited about what's taking place in Birmingham. I'm looking forward to the time that we can look back and say, well, the old Birmingham that we used to know 5 years ago no longer exists. And it doesn't exist right now. Right now, you can go downtown and get on a zip bike. I don't ride bikes anymore. But if I did ride a bike, they would be available in downtown Birmingham. We've changed the whole atmosphere of this city. We still have some challenges. We're not a perfect city. We have not solved all the issues of crime, issues of education within our school system. There are still challenges. But I know one of the hallmarks of the Junior League is to support reading initiatives in our schools. One of the hallmarks of the Junior League is to work with our educational system to help turn it around, to make it a place that anyone who wants to give their child a proper education can really feel that the Birmingham public school system will be a strong component. We're not there yet, but with collaboration with organizations like yourselves, we can get there. When I became mayor, there were some iconic features that I wanted to bring back that was a part of my childhood growing up. On 5th Avenue and about 25th Street or 24th Street, there used to be a sign that said, "Welcome to Birmingham," near the old terminal station. Well, I searched and searched and searched. That old sign had been torn down. It had been melted and no longer existed. But because of the Rotary group, they built the Rotary Trail, and they built a facsimile of the old sign that used to be there. We brought it back. When you go and look out in the right field of the Birmingham Barons field, there's a Penny's puppy that used to represent Penny's dog food. In my childhood, you used to drive across the First Avenue Viaduct at 26th Street. You could see that dog there wagging his tail. He doesn't wag his tail anymore, but at least he's out there in right field. and I say these things because going back to that sign that said, "Welcome to Birmingham," I thought that that was something that the city had done. And as I was trying to research where it was to get it and put it back up, I found out that in 1926, a man by the name of Edgar Elliott, who was a lawyer in this city, I think he has a grandson or a great-grandson that still practices law here in Birmingham, he donated that sign to the city of Birmingham to give thanks for being able to make a living in this community, to give thanks for being able to raise his family in this community. That was a philanthropic heart that this gentleman had. Well, we got other individuals today who are giving back. We have other organizations who are giving back. And I know this is an organization that will continue to give back. And I want to encourage you to do that and set an example for other organizations to give back. Because when I watch TV in the morning, I'm looking at Good Morning America or the Today Show, and I see people in the audience, rarely do I see somebody say, "Well, I'm from Hoover," or "I'm from Trussville." They all say, "I'm from Birmingham." Whether they live in the city, whether they work in the city or not, we all know that Birmingham represents the entire area. And if you're proud of Birmingham, you're proud of everything else. And as I tell people all the time, I want to make sure that when people come to Birmingham, that our living room, which is the downtown area, is nice and neat, and that we're working on the bedroom and the den and the other areas. And I need your help. I need you to speak positive of the city. I need you to work those areas that we have challenges in. I need you to step up. And if you can't do it, encourage other organizations to do it, to help us make a city that we all can be proud of, to help us make a city that we can leave a lasting legacy to those who follow behind us. So I'll be happy to entertain any question that you might have on any subject. As I say, I know a little bit about everything, but not a whole lot about any particular thing. So I'll be happy to entertain questions.
Oh, come on, I know they asked questions.
Yes.
Have you had, hi, I'm Allie Steele, and I live in Chelsea actually, but
Yeah.
I'm super excited about the news about Birmingham becoming a sanctuary city. And how is that, what kind of feedback have you gotten from the community and overall? And I know that the governor commented
I can tell you the
happy
feedback
about
that I've got from the
that.
governor of Washington. They're trying to cut our funds off.
Yeah, but general, kind of, can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, you know, Birmingham has always been a city that represented human rights. In fact, we were just designated by the president for our civil rights district as being a national monument. When you travel to countries around the world, they know of Birmingham as the epicenter of the civil rights movement that took place. This city was transformed from a city of hate to a city of inclusiveness. Most of the people, when you study the history of Birmingham, most of the people who settled here were from other places, other countries. And for us to turn into a city